Hey, greetings, folks. Bill O'Leary coming to you today to answer the question, can you transfer your Medicaid benefits when you move out of state? So in this video, what you're going to learn is whether you can transfer a Medicaid coverage from one state to another and what the best way is to go about getting Medicaid in a new state. Quick introduction. My name is Bill O'Leary. I'm an estate planning and elder law and probate and estate and trust administration lawyer in Jacksonville, Florida, and my firm is Legacy Planning Law Group. So let's jump into the question at hand. Can you use your Medicaid coverage in any state that you want? The answer is no. The answer is no. And the reason is that each state has its own Medicaid program. Look, Medicaid is a public benefit program to pay for long-term care, and it's a shared program between the federal government and the states. And while parts of the program are federal and the same in each state, there are other parts of the Medicaid program that are state-specific and vary from one state to another. And so, since each state has its own Medicaid eligibility requirements, you can't just transfer coverage from that you may have gotten in one state transfer to another state. You also can't use your coverage when you're temporarily visiting another state unless you, let's say, need emergency health care. And, this actually does come as a surprise to many people. Medicaid coverage and benefits simply, can't be switched from one state to another. Each state is given the flexibility independently of each other state, and there's sort of a lack of consistency among the states. And so those wishing to transfer their coverage must reapply for Medicaid in the new state that they move to. And the situation can get even more complicated during the moving process because you're not allowed to be eligible for Medicaid in two states at the same time. So in order to be accepted by Medicaid in the new state, you first have to close out your Medicaid coverage in the old state. Now, the good news is that Medicaid will provide retroactive coverage in many states, and any potential sort of coverage gap can be helped if the Medicaid program in the state that you're moving to will pay retroactively once approval is given. So just know that you might be forced to pay for healthcare services out of pocket for a period of time until the retroactive coverage kicks in and renders you eligible for reimbursement. Make sure to retain copies of all medical receipts for services during the coverage gap. Now, another good thing is that there are no residency requirements to qualify for Medicaid. So again, no residency requirements. So after relocating, you can immediately apply for Medicaid benefits in the new states. Now, when moving to a new state, here are some things to do in order to get approved for Medicaid in the new state fairly quickly. Number one, do your research. Find out ahead of time the financial and functional or disability eligibility requirements in the state in which you live now and the state that you're relocating to. Remember, the criteria is not consistent across the states. Also, understand that retroactive coverage may or may not be available in all states. So prior to moving, call the local Medicaid office in the area that you are relocating to get more information. Second, get a functional assessment. It can be extremely helpful to have a functional assessment completed in the state in which you are relocating to. Do this before canceling any Medicaid benefits in the current state of residence. Very important. Now, if you're not functionally eligible in the new state, you may want to consider the relocation altogether. You may want to reconsider it, or maybe consider another state with less strict functionality requirements. And then the last thing to consider is plan the move. So relocating towards the end of the month may move along the Medicaid application process because some states won't close out coverage until the end of the month. Again, you can't receive Medicaid coverage in more than one state at the same time. Very important. So it might be best to cancel coverage in the original state at the end of the month, move, and then immediately apply for coverage in the new state. Just bear in mind the Medicaid application process generally does not take that long. on average, maybe 15 to upward of 90 days to get approval for Medicaid eligibility. So if you would, hey, like to know a little bit more about whether whether you're able to transfer Medicaid benefits when you move out of state and maybe how we can help, we'd love to talk to you. So we would invite you, start the conversation, book a free 15-minute discovery, a phone call with us, so that you can basically tell us what's on your mind and we can tell you if we can help you. Scheduling the call could not be any easier. Just go to the bottom of this video and schedule the scheduling link. Click on that scheduling link and it's going to take you straight to our booking calendar. Very easy. And hey, we would invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Legacy Planning Law Group, for other very interesting videos on related topics. And last thing, hey, if you've enjoyed this video, I'd be very appreciative if you liked it. Better yet, share it with your friends. So Bill O'Leary signing off for now, and go make it a great day and a better world.